Hello and welcome to another Luminous Flow tutorial. My name's Tim and today I'm going to be showing you how to get started with Flow. We're going to go through how to download Flow, install it in Unity, and how to open and test our interaction flow sample scene. Okay, so first thing you want to do is download and install the package. To do so, either use the download button on our documentation page, just up here, or if you already have an account with us, you can get it from the Luminous portal dashboard. The link to the documentation is in the description below. Once you have your download, you just need to install it. To do so, simply open your project in Unity. As you can see here, I have a fresh new project. Make sure as well that your new project has the Universal Render Pipeline enabled. To do so, click New Project, and then click Universal 3D Create Project once you've given it a suitable name. Once you've got the project open, you're going to want to go to Window, Package Manager, and we're going to want to add a package here. In order for our package to work, we're going to need a couple of other things. The first one we're going to have to add is called Pun2. You can find this by going to the Unity Asset Store, looking up Pun2, and you'll see it looks like this. Then you click on Add to Assets. You see I've already done that, so it says Open in Unity. And then when you go to Packages, My Assets, it will show up here. And you can click Download, and it will download. And then you can click Import, and it will import. Once it's finished importing, you'll see this screen here. Just finish by clicking Import and wait for the bar to finish. You're also going to want to go ahead and grab Photon Voice 2, another free package from the Unity Asset Store, and import it in the same way as well. In order to get our package installed here, you want to get the package, double click it. It will then begin to do its thing. And once the loading bar is complete, we can continue. Once that's done, you'll be presented with another Import Unity Package window. Just go ahead and click Import on that one and wait for another loading bar to finish. Once the package is finished fully importing, we need to go and add some scripting defines. So, you want to go to File, Build Settings, Player Settings, and then you want to make sure you're on the Player tab, and then you want to scroll down, click on Other Settings, scroll down a little further, down to here, where you see the scripting define symbols. You then want to add a small list, which you'll find in the documentation. I'll do this now and show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, this is what the list should look like once you're done. As you can see, I've put in a few extra defines there. Feel free to pause the video at this point and check them out, make sure they're the same as yours, or consult the documentation. Do also ensure that you are using Unity version 2022.3.20 F1, which is our recommended version, or you may encounter some errors that I haven't shown in this video. Next, in order to start getting into VR immediately, you want to go down to the project window here, type in Player VR. You'll find a scene here. Double-click that to open it. This opens our main scene, which allows you to play through modules in VR. Next up, you want to go back down to the project window and type in Interactions, and then also change the type here to look for Scenes. And you'll find here a module called Interactions Sample Module. Click and drag that into the hierarchy, and you'll see the scene has loaded directly. This setup will allow you to jump straight in with a VR headset if it's connected, and allow you to play around in our interaction sample module, testing all the functionality that we have to offer. Before you do so, make sure that you are targeting the correct platform. Do so by going to File, Build Settings, and clicking here on Android. If this is not available to you, you will need to install the package in Unity, but a prompt should come up and offer that to you right here. You also want to make sure and change up here the scenes in build. You want to untick Player Desktop Interactor and tick Player VR. This will ensure that you load in with the VR scene instead of the desktop one when you click Play in Build. For now, just click Switch Platform and wait for the loading bar to finish. Okay, the loading bar has now finished for me. That took about 15 minutes on my end. And now we're ready to close this. And before we go to hit play is we go to Luminous XR and set desktop to VR. Now this is what you need to use if you want to play in VR via the editor, because the editor considers you to be on desktop. However, you want it to launch through VR. So we have a handy tool here that sets you up so that it'll play directly. In order to go back to any of the other setups, we want to go set desktop to interactor. This will allow you to play through as the desktop interactor or the desktop spectator up here. And if you want to make a build for the MetaQuest VR or MR or the Vive Focus 3, select the appropriate option down here. So yeah, we're going to select set desktop to VR for now. That has now set the OpenXR to be initialized on startup, which you can find if you're curious in the player settings. At the bottom here, tab over to the desktop scene, and you'll see the initialize XR on startup has been ticked. Once you've closed all those windows, make sure that your player VR scene is the active scene. Right-click Set Active Scene should be grayed out if it's already the active scene, which it should be. And the absolute last thing that you have to do before you can play directly in VR is that you have to go to Luminous Localization, fresh project, follow the instructions here, go through number 1, return to default. I've already done this, but you would click continue here. Then you would generate your locales by going here and adding a locale generator, English, or whichever language you prefer, and then set up the editor config data. You don't need to worry about step number 4 at the moment because we're just using a scene that's already got localization data in it. And you can close that window, get your VR headset ready. If you're using a MetaQuest, then you need to make sure that you are in QuestLink before you hit play so that it will load correctly. Go ahead and click play now. And after a short loading bar, you should load in to the module. Okay, and as you can see, we have now loaded into the module. And we can play through. So I've got the welcome screen here, click next, click next. As you go through all of this, it gives you a description of each different type of step that we have in our graphs and in our systems, and you can follow along as you like. I won't spoil the whole thing for you, I'll just leave it here, but that's how you get in and get started and get set up with the Luminous Flow package and get into the introduction scene. Thank you very much, and please refer to the documentation if you have any further questions.